Hello friends and welcome to Fire Emblem Discussion. Today we're doing two things. I'm going to tell you how I feel about Fire Emblem Three Houses after playing for about 4 hours, like 3.5 hours or so. So like a first impression. And also I'm going to announce the giveaway winner at the end of this video. So make sure to watch for that. It could be you, who knows. So thus far in, I picked the Blue Lions. The playthrough's on the channel, you can watch it. And it has been a lot of fun. So the story-wise, I'll start there, story-wise. It's been really disjointed and really jumpy, and it doesn't feel like the story was a huge priority at this point. Again, I'm only like 3 hours in, so I don't know for sure how important the story is going to be. But at this point, like the way the way it started was weird, like just like jumped in really disjointed, like, oh, we're here, you know, like, oh, we need your help, mercenary guys, and then they help you, whatever, and then you help the three lords that were there for some unspecified reason, and it's just I don't know. And then from there, it's been really jumpy. It just like kind of jumps around from character interaction to character interaction, which I understand that's what Fire Emblem does, but for some reason it just feels really funny in this game. It doesn't feel natural in any way, shape, or form. So that's my only thing with the story. It feels kind of jumpy. It feels like it doesn't connect very well. But overall, it's been fine. I mean, again, only 3 hours in. It's fine. Moving into like animations, I feel like the animation in this game is really sluggish, and also really choppy. So like just a simple thing like Byleth turning his head to like shit, like just like looking around. It looks like those animatronics from like Disneyland on like the Pirates of the Caribbean ride or something like that. It like turns his head and like locks in place. It doesn't look natural at all. It looks really robotic. So the animation's kind of whatever. It's not very good as far as like movement and actual animation. The art style's fine. It doesn't bother me. I think that bothers a lot of people, but I think it's fine. It's an okay art style. And the art direction they went with for the 3D models and everything, it's okay. But again, just the animation, like moving parts look really unnatural. And I mean, this is the first time that Fire Emblem's ever done something like this. It has so much animation for characters, but again, it just looks really, really like fake. It's like the Uncanny Valley kind of fake, where it's close-ish to how a human would like move their head or move their arms. But it's also like not like even close. Like you can totally tell like that's fake as crap, you know. So that's another thought. So keep that in mind. And don't expect too much out of the animations. They're fine, but they're not great. The same goes for the battle animations. They're really choppy, and they feel really uninspired. Especially coming from the 3DS games, were really snappy. They looked really good, and they were fun to watch. Especially like Echoes. Echoes nailed it. Echoes perfected the 3DS animations and battle animations and everything. But I think Three Houses, it's definitely some growing pains moving onto the console and having more power to work with. It doesn't look quite as good as even the 3DS games. And especially if you compare it to like the GBA games with really snappy fun animations or the SNES games. So the animations are a little off-putting to me, but the map animations are pretty good. They go quickly, so that's appreciated. And of course, you can just skip everything if you want. Just press the plus button, everything's skipped. Moving on to the teaching portion. So I was actually kind of nervous about the teaching portion. I didn't know if I would care for it at all, and I thought it'd be a really long and arduous process. It's actually pretty snappy. It's pretty quick. You get through it relatively quickly. It's pretty It's not as micromanagey as I thought it was going to be, and that's a good thing. So far, again, I've only done a few of the weeks of the training, of the teaching, but so far I enjoy it. I enjoy like setting up the group events and setting up the, you know, like people's goals and priorities, and then also just like the personal instruction is cool, and like building supports that way. It's fun. I enjoy that. I enjoy it more than I thought it would. And then moving on to like the battles and how it feels to play the game, like the feel of like moving around on the map, like the cursor, is really sluggish. Again, especially coming from the 3DS games, that felt really snappy, and I felt like I could move my cursor quickly to units. I'm still getting used to it, I guess. I use the Pro Controller, and I use the joystick because the D-pad on the Pro Controller is not very good. So that might be my problem. I always use the D-pad on the other games. So That might be part of my problem. I may need to just transfer over and make myself use it if I want the snappier movement that I like. Stuff like zooming in and out the camera. I don't like the camera angle very much. I wish they would have gone more with a Radiant Dawn camera, where you could like how high you could raise it and the angle you could have it at. It is kind of cool that you can turn the camera like 360 degrees. You know, it can go like all around, and you can see from like a ton of different angles, which is really nice. Especially since there's 3D environments with hills and stairs and trees and whatnot. It's nice to be able to move the camera around and make sure you can see everything. And then there's the super zoomed in view, which I'm not a fan of. I mean, you can like click on your character and like free roam with them in their movement range, but it doesn't really make sense to me personally. It doesn't it doesn't translate to my head very well. Be like, oh, this is there, and that's that enemy. You know, it's kind of like lose track of who's what and where's what when I do that. So I'm not a big fan of that either. I really love gambits. Gambits are dope. They freeze. They can freeze the enemy for a turn. They like reduce their stats. It increases your attack power and stuff. It's just really cool. I'm really into it. It can like do stuff like knock enemies back and stuff. There's some really cool gambits, and I'm really into it at this point. And the gambit boost is easy to plan for and use, which is nice. It's just the combat, like the gameplay system itself, like the ideas behind it are really good. Between the gambit systems, the combat arts are really well done. Magic is done interestingly. So in Echoes, it like took HP to use magic, but in this game, instead of making it take HP, they just give you a super limited like number of uses per map you can use that magic, and then it restores the next chapter, the next battle. So, for instance, Mercy, she can only heal 5 times per map, which it's like kind of annoying. So, like normally, like, you can heal a bunch of times per map, and it's like great, you get good experience and spam. But she can only heal 5 times per map at this point. I think she'll learn a skill later that allows her to heal more, but it's still kind of frustrating. And then the Annette can only use her wind spell like 6 times. And then she just learned another spell she can only use like 3 times per map, which is like better. It's interesting the way they chose to do it, and I'm okay with it. As far as exploring the monastery goes, I get lost really easy in the monastery. Everything looks kind of samey, but I'm sure I'll get used to it. Again, I've only done it a couple times at this point because I'm not super far into the game, so I'm sure I'll get used to it. But it's a little disorienting at first, for sure. But yeah, those are basically my thoughts. I'm having a lot of fun with the game at this point. It's been a blast. And if you want to watch, I'm streaming it on my channel every day probably. I stream in the morning because I work in the afternoon and the evening. So make sure to stay tuned for that. And now, let's talk about the giveaway. So the person I am about to announce who was selected is going to win a copy of Fire Emblem 3 Houses for themselves. All they need to do is hop on Discord, join my Discord, and message me, like personal message me, so that I can coordinate with them. Okay, all I need, and we'll get from there, and we'll get some like proof of who you are and everything. If we have to, it'll be great. So this is from Twitter handle. Sorry. The Twitter handle is at HAHSH_JSJS. Again, the Twitter handle is at HAHSH_JSJS. If that's you, contact me as soon as possible. If you don't contact me in the next couple of days, I'll probably pick someone else. But yeah, contact me as soon as you can on Discord, and we will figure it out, and we'll get you your copy of the game. But thanks for tuning in, friends. I really appreciate it. Make sure to like and subscribe for more Fire Emblem discussion. And until next time, thank you for watching.